Have you ever got any discomfort in your body? Have you got anxiety? Have you got worried or stressed about something? Are you happy with your friends, families, and society members? Now, on the basis of these questions, can you tell me whether you are healthy or diseased? We will discover about these questions in the chapter number 8, that is Human Health and Disease. Hello everyone, this is Mrs. Minakshi from KV number 2 AV4 station Halwara. Here in this chapter in this video we will be talking about specifically about the introduction to human health and disease. Before we proceed with the definition of health, let's understand what were the earlier beliefs about health. Health for a long time was considered as a state of body and mind where there was a balance of certain humors. Humors here specifically refers to bodily fluids present in an individual. According to Hippocrates, who was the father of medicine, human body is made up of 4 types of humors: yellow bile, black bile, blood and phlegm. For ideal health, these fluids have to be in perfect balance. When this balance is lost, it leads to sickness. It was also thought that persons with black bile belonged to hot personality and would have fevers. Similar kinds of ideas or philosophies were also given by Indian Ayurveda system, where they say that people are born with a specific constitution which is called Prakriti. According to this system, Prakriti is a unique combination of physical and psychological characteristics that affect the way each person functions. Later, William Harvey, who was the first physician to describe complete and detailed systemic circulation and properties of blood being pumped to the brain and rest of the body by the heart, he discovered blood circulation, and by using experimental methods, he worked on number of people. He checked their temperatures by using thermometers. He demonstrated that every person is having a normal body temperature which ranges between 36 to 37 degrees centigrades. He also proposed that people with black bile can also have normal body temperature. So this disproved the good humor hypothesis given by Hippocrates. In later years, biology stated that mind influences through neural system, endocrine system, immune system, and it is our immune system that maintains our health. Hence, mind and mental state can affect our health. Of course, health is affected by these factors also. First is genetic disorders. These are the deficiencies with which a child is born. There could be deficiency of a gene, there could be some abnormality in chromosomes. So these are the defects with which a child is born, that is, these are congenital disorders, and these types of disorders a child inherit from his or her parents. Next factor which affects health are the infections. During its lifetime, a person can be infected by number of microbes which may lead to number of diseases. So this we will learn in the further coming topics in the chapter. Third category is the lifestyle. What type of food we are eating, what type of water we are taking, are we taking balanced diet, are we taking proper rest or sleep, are we doing exercise? These all factors are also affecting our health. This term health is very frequently used. Health is just not simply the absence of disease. Disease means dis-ease, that is discomfort. Or health is just not about physical fitness. Health is the state of complete physical, mental and social well-being of an individual. When people are healthy, they are more efficient in work. This increases productivity and will bring economic prosperity. Health also increases longevity of people, and this will also reduce infant and maternal mortality. How can we maintain good health? Good health can be maintained by balanced diet. We have to take proper or required amounts of carbohydrates, proteins and fats in our diet. Along with that, some vitamins and minerals are also required. Next is we have to maintain personal hygiene. You should take bath daily, you should comb your hair, you should trim your nails regularly, you should brush your teeth twice a day, you should wear clean and dry clothes, you should wash your clothes before wearing. So these types of personal hygiene habits could be found. Along with that, we can do regular exercise. The amount of calories we have taken are also to be burned. The extra calories have to be burned, else it will lead to the fat deposition in the body. Exercise also helps in relaxing the mind, like yoga, that could help in relaxing the mind and that could also help in fighting stress. Next is awareness about the disease and their effect. We don't have to be ignorant about the disease. For example, if we are knowing a particular disease spreads by some vector, we can control the vector and get rid of that particular disease. Nowadays, number of vaccines have been developed against many dreadful diseases. So immunization against the infectious diseases is also must. Proper disposal of the wastage should be there. Biodegradable and non-biodegradable waste should be separated. In specifically, biodegradable waste should be thrown in covered dustbins because it may turn breeding ground of number of vectors like house flies and mosquitoes. Because these houseflies and mosquitoes are the vectors of number of dreadful diseases, so therefore these vectors have to be controlled at their breeding levels only. So next is the maintenance of hygienic food and water. Whatsoever food and water we are taking, food should be properly cooked, it should have all the nutrients, it should be hygienically prepared, it should be covered when not in use. Water when we are using should be properly covered, it should be properly boiled or it should be filtered. Now we will talk about the types of diseases. Diseases are of two broad categories. First is the congenital diseases. These are the diseases which a child is having right from the time of his or her birth. For example, we talked about genetic disorders in chapter number 5 also. So congenital disorders are present right from the time of birth of a child. And next are the acquired diseases which a child may acquire during its lifetime. Acquired diseases may be of two types: communicable or infectious diseases, non-communicable or non-infectious diseases. The diseases which are easily transmitted from one person to another are said to be infectious diseases. Infectious diseases could be spread through direct or indirect contact. The ones which spread through direct contact, for example, if you breathe in some aerosols of flu infected person, you may also get infected. So such type of diseases are said to be contagious diseases. Whereas the ones which are not spread through direct contact, but they may spread from one person to another with the means of some vectors or some other modes, so such type of disorders are said to be non-contagious infectious diseases. Next category is the diseases which are not easily transmitted from one person to another. For example, if I have allergy to pollens, you won't get allergic to pollens. If I have hypertension, you won't get hypertension. Such type of diseases are said to be non-infectious diseases. Diseases are caused by number of microorganisms. These disease-causing microorganisms are called pathogens. For example, bacteria, fungi, protozoans, the viruses. These are the main pathogens or the microorganisms which are causing the diseases. So we will talk about the different types of diseases in the next video. So I hope you have got the idea about health. Now let's answer some of the questions. What is health? What are the factors that affect health? How can you maintain good health? Define a pathogens. So students, try to answer these questions. I hope you have understood what has been told. Thank you and have a nice day.